Hello.
So, as you can see, we're kind of back in front of the shelves. We still have our guests in-house, but we are taking advantage of their night out.
Watching Anastasia.
Yeah,
So, any
which is
Derek
amazing,
Planet
by
fans
the
in the
way.
house, he's
Anyway.
the reason people scream and shout.
Anyway.
But the lead is also good too.
Yes, she's amazing. Anyway, today we are filming our October book haul, which is pretty exciting. It is not quite as extensive as September's, where I really went crazy with the book buying. I'd like to think that I finally found some sort of balance here. So yeah, without further ado, I guess we're just gonna get started. I think we're gonna start with... Should we start with the publisher stuff?
Yeah.
Or should we start with the other stuff?
I only have publisher and library stuff anyway, so.
Well, I don't have any library stuff, but I do have stuff.
I'll start with the stuff.
If we're gonna start with the stuff, we might as well start with the best part of the stuff. It is, oh my god, this thing is so heavy. I can't imagine how heavy the next few are gonna be, but it is the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the illustrated edition. This came out in early October, and just like the other two before it, it is fantastic. The illustrations are just so good, and they just bring the story to life in a very different way. I'm really looking forward to doing a reread using the illustrated editions. Plus,
Oh.
let's just talk about how pretty the spine is. The spine, I mean the hardcover is, because purple. I'm just saying.
Also,
but,
the actual books are any indication, everything just gets heavier.
I know, I'm just like trying to imagine, like, slight spoilers there. Anyway, I'm really excited to add this to the Harry Potter shelf, which also means I have to rearrange the Harry Potter shelf because there's just no way this is gonna fit over there.
Collector problems.
But yeah, we can figure that out. Anyway, this is my favorite thing that I bought in October so far. On the very 1st of October, I went to a book event at Books of Wonder, and it was for Invictus by Ryan Groden. This is a sci-fi YA novel that is basically Guardians of the Galaxy meets Doctor Who meets a little bit of Firefly, and it's just phenomenal. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think she did such a great job with the time travel and history aspects of it. I also really love the crew. They're just such amazing characters. My favorite is Imogen, although Saffron, the red panda, gets a very, very close second to that. It's a really fun read. It's very self-contained. It's a complete story in one novel, so if you're looking for a new standalone or a new sci-fi YA to check out, definitely give Invictus a shot. And then I actually went ahead and ordered the October Fairy Loot box, and that is a subscription box that is based in the UK. I will link to them down below. Their boxes are amazing, and it is my first one ever, and I loved everything in it. The book comes in this little like bag, which I think is great because it protects the book. And it's funny because I actually already have a copy of this book, but you know, I'm not opposed to having another.
Oh, yeah.
The book is Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow, and this is the first of a series, and it is about a character named Shifong, and she is basically the evil queen. And so this story is YA fantasy with East Asian inspiration. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's the story of a girl who is simply trying to figure out where her fate is going to lead her, and unfortunately it may lead her to do some questionable things. It's so phenomenal, y'all. I really enjoyed this one. Also in that box was this beautiful edition of The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. The difference from the one I already have is the actual cover is already printed onto the book, and it's got red accents instead of the kind of bronzy gold. I have read this collection of short stories, fairy tales basically, set in the Grishaverse, and they are phenomenal. The very last story is my absolute favorite, so if you guys have yet to check this one out, definitely do that. And then I may or may not have gone stress shopping a little bit when I went to the Strand. I think it was just the last weekend of October. It was really fun because I found some really cool things. So the first thing is this edition of The Art of Travel by, I'm gonna butcher this. Do you want to try and say it? It's French, so.
Alain de Botton.
Anyway, I have heard a lot about this author and this book, and I'm pretty sure I read an excerpt of it at some point in my college life, but I really wanted to read it, and I had seen the paperback edition, but I was kind of like, eh, and it was just pure luck that I stumbled on this in the Strand. It's actually out of print now. It's amazing, and I'm so excited to get to this one. Speaking of travel, I also ended up picking up a book called A Paris All Your Own, which is edited by Eleanor Brown, and it's got a bunch of women authors writing about their experiences with Paris. And I enjoyed visiting Paris when I finally got the chance to go last year, and I definitely wouldn't mind going again, although this time I would like to do things at my own pace and not run around like a tourist like the last time, which was fun too, but like, I'm good now, you know. Anyway, I have been eyeing this one, and I was thinking about buying it, but then I saw it for a really, really good deal at the Strand and could not pass it up. And the last thing that I picked up at the Strand is an edition of the classic collector series, The Sleeping Beauty and Other Fairy Tales, as retold by Sir Arthur Quiller Couch, and illustrated by Edmund Dulac. And it's just pretty. You know, you guys know I collect fairy tales. And I saw this cover and I was like, I need to buy it because red and shiny. And then the actual book itself also has the cover printed on it.
I respect that. Red and shiny is...
and yeah, it's basically a collection of fairy tales. It's got some illustrations.
Beautiful illustrations, giant print. Nice.
Giant print, yeah. And it's just got a bunch of fairy tales, and I'm so excited to add it to the fairy tale shelf, which also needs to be rearranged now because that's also not going to fit on it. And the last thing I pick up is not a book, and I got it from Barnes & Noble and not the Strand, but it is this magazine, and it's called Project Calm, Mindfulness Through Making, and it just got a bunch of things in it that are about, you know, different topics like stargazing and making maps and stuff like that. It's got a bunch of projects in it. I just really like the way it looked. And I also just really love this cover because it just speaks to my soul, so I just ended up snagging it. I'm good with the stuff now.
I went to the library a lot for many reasons. One of which was to pick up a copy of the Jumbies, which is the book one. Which is book one of the Jumbies. I guess it's duology for now. Yeah. We don't know because I haven't read the second book, which Alexa got in the mail, and she's like, "You're
right up
reading
your alley."
That, so that's totally me. So yeah, very interested in reading that. And because we were able to get a really good copy of the Brandon Sanderson series around the librarians.
Evil librarians.
Yeah, well, Alcatraz, right, versus the whatever. So that's kind of the theory. We were able to get book 5, and I thought, well, this won't do. I need books 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's
so guess what
I was
happened?
able to snag at ye old local library. And so these are the beautiful, beautiful, well, with the exception of this one at the front, these are the beautiful new Tor covers when Tor finally picked up the series, and I absolutely cannot wait to get started on these. It's not here right now because it's in the room and I'm really lazy, but I also got the first book of Alex Rider, Stormbreaker, which is going to make it appear magically here as the cover. And Stormbreaker, you know, if Librarians was about evil librarians and the Jumbies was about Jumbies, so not vague.
It's about Stormbreakers.
This is basically James Bond Light, where young Alex Rider's uncle was murdered. Thought he was killed in an accident, but he's actually murdered, and he gets conscripted to take his uncle's place in finishing the mission that his uncle died trying to fulfill. So that was fun. I will definitely read the rest of it, Scorpio, all those crazy stuff, and that would be fun. Lastly, crowning off the library haul would be these 2 new comics, graphic novels that I picked up. One of them is World of Wakanda, because, and I'm going to butcher this right now, but Ta-Nehisi Coates, it's probably not the way you say the last name, but has written a masterpiece in the new Black Panther stuff. This is just more like an extended, you know, kind of world, and anything that this writer basically touches, I think is gold, so that's awesome. And then, finally got a copy of Lock and Key, Joe Hill, because we love the Kings.
He loves the Kings. I've read nothing, so.
Right, and so can't wait to read these.
I actually forgot 2 of the things that could have been stuff. I have really great friends, and I have a friend named Gail who went on a trip recently. I'm trying to remember which country she picked this up in. Either way, she got me another foreign edition of Throne of Glass, which I'm going to throw
check the language.
To my, well, if you can figure that out, be my guest.
Sklenny-Trun.
Anyway, so I got that edition of Throne of Glass to add to my shelf, which I think is amazing. Check. It's check. There you go. It's a Czech edition of Throne of Glass. And then Kristen from Super Space Chick gave me a copy of Bright Smoke, Cold Fire by Rosamund Hodge, and this is basically like Romeo and Juliet meets death meets... It was really weird, but also I was really entertained, and I don't know how to explain it. I know it's a duology and that there's a second book that's coming out or has come out, which I haven't checked out yet, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked that I ended up with a copy of this somehow, some way. So, moving right on along to the generous publishers who have given me life, no kidding, who have given me books, which is basically life in this case. I guess we're gonna start with my coloring books because I got 2. The first one is Mermaids in Paradise, which is obviously a mermaid themed coloring book, and this one came from St. Martin's Griffin, and it's got bigger illustrations, which means easier coloring, which is great.
Pretty.
And then the second coloring book I got was from Disney Hyperion, and it's the Percy Jackson coloring book, which I'm super stoked about. If you guys don't know, Mackie and I both really love Rick Riordan and all of his books. We think they're incredible. We think that they are worthy of their own spot on the shelves, which is why we're going to pick them up when we go home.
We think Jason Gray should be president, all that kind of
yeah. The illustrations are all things related to the Percy Jackson books, so locations, characters, all of that, and I'm really excited to have it. Alrighty, this book I actually showed in a haul maybe a couple of months ago. I still haven't read it, which is kind of terrible. But it's a book called The Paris Secret, and this is a finished copy. A person is called in to assess the art in an abandoned Paris apartment, and she starts to trace the history of the different pieces of art in it. And it sounds really intriguing. Again, with the Paris books, I don't know. I just love, I'm a sucker for books in Paris. You're gonna see one more in this haul, which is kind of amazing. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. The next set of arcs, 3 of them, are from Candlewick Press. The first one is My Name is Victoria by Lucy Worsley, and it has, I didn't realize that the cover looked like this, and it's basically like an alternate take on what Queen Victoria's childhood was like.
Oh, hello.
Which I think sounds amazing, yes.
This fascination with the British monarchy is just magnificent.
I just think like the European monarchy is so interesting, and I think European history is so interesting. It's actually what I studied in college when I had to pick between like Asian or European history.
I don't even remember what I studied in college.
You might actually like that.
I do remember using Animaniacs lyrics, specifically the ones about Magellan, to pass a test. So there's that.
I also got something from Penguin as a pre-order incentive for Warcross, and it's a little teeny tiny short story that's called Life After Legend by Maria Lu, and it's basically a glimpse back at the legend world, specifically in today's character, and I am so excited about this. Okay, bye.
My turn. A couple of books here that I totally stole from Yay Pile, like just right now. Price Guide to the Occult, right? So this is like fun. I can already see Witch and Anathema Island and all of that stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, this is definitely up my alley, so whoever sent this to Alexa, thank you. We are reviewing it. Candlewick Press. Yay, lovely. And another thing I stole from Alexa's pile would be Victoria and Abdul. So we've seen maybe some of the trailers between Judi Dench, with Dame Judi Dench on there, and I thought, I gotta see the movie.
So good.
I would rather see, you know, well, this I think this is the
yeah, it's a true story basically.
It's the true story, and then and the movie was based on this.
Yes.
There you go. So definitely again. And the other thing I stole,
so many things you stole.
I stole like so much, is Calling My Name. Family, sisters, friends, enemies, neighbors, school, church, first love, expectation, betrayal, hopes, and dreams. Basically everybody's childhood. Who do you listen to? So I'm in. Like, so I read these kinds of things.
Resuming my stack here, I have Dodie, Secrets from the Mad, Obsessions, Confessions, and Life Lessons. I do love that title. It's basically, the author of this book is Dodie. Oh. She's a musician from London, and I think she's popular on YouTube. I wouldn't know, actually, because I hadn't heard of her until I heard of her book. But it's basically like her, almost like a journal, really.
I think I've seen her.
Well, you might want to read that one too. Anyway, it's a bunch of different things that she's written, and I just am very interested in seeing what that's like. Moving on, we have The Radical Element, which is edited by Jessica Spotswood, and it is a collection of short stories, daredevils, debutantes, and other dauntless girls. And this is more historical fiction short stories. I actually mentioned the first anthology, which is a Tyranny of Petticoats. I mentioned it in our last What We Read, and I enjoyed that one a lot, so I'm looking forward to checking this one out as well. Then we have a book that I knew nothing about before I got it, and it's called Turn It Up by Jen Kalanita, and it says practice makes pitch perfect. So I'm gonna assume that there's a cappella in this, which...
Or just general singing.
Nope, it's definitely a cappella.
Oh.
Apparently there is an a cappella group, and they used to be like really famous and great and everything, but they have fallen far from grace, and so they're trying to redeem themselves.
So basically Pitch Perfect 3?
Yeah, pretty much. Sounds like fun though, so.
Fun.
The next book is A Skin Full of Shadows by Frances Hardinge? I don't know how to pronounce that. There's an E there, it's throwing me off. The thing on the flap, since I knew nothing about this book, by the way, says, "This is the story of a bare-hearted girl." Okay, man. That's it.
Like she becomes a bear?
I don't know. It says, "Sometimes when a person dies, their spirit goes looking for somewhere to hide. Some people have space within them, perfect for hiding. Young Makepeace has learned to defend herself from the ghosts that try to possess her in the night, desperate for refuge. But one day a dreadful event causes her to drop her guard, and now there's a spirit inside her." Okay then, I'ma read it. So, funny story. I don't know how this happened, but I magically ended up with 2 copies of the same book.
Huh?
What's the book, you might ask? It's called The Empress, and it's by S.J. Kincaid, and this is the follow-up to The Diabolic. The Diabolic is a book that I absolutely adored when I read it last year. It is about this sort of cyborg-type person named Nemesis, and she was created to protect our particular person. And in order to protect her charge, she basically disguises herself as her charge and goes in her charge's place to this meeting of powerful political figures at the center of the empire, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on after that. So somehow I ended up with 2 copies of the sequel. One of them will be given away, of course. I haven't read it yet, but I do think that it is interesting that there's a sequel, considering the first one ended pretty well. So we're gonna have to see how I think about this. And two more for me. Okay, first is, and I'm super excited about this, a finished copy of Retribution Rails by Aaron Bowman. I actually just finished reading this one recently, and I absolutely loved it, even more than I loved Vengeance Road, which is the first book in this companion novel duology. Retribution Rails is about 2 characters, a girl named Charlotte who wants to be a journalist and is trying to pursue that, and she meets a boy named Reese on a train. She's a passenger on said train, and he, on the other hand, is part of the gang that is trying to rob said train. So, not the best first meeting. But
to say the least.
I know, right? But the more the story goes, a lot of things happen, and secrets are revealed, and feelings develop, and all of that good stuff. It's really amazing. I'm doing a terrible job of talking about it, but it is incredible, and I highly, highly recommend checking it out when it comes out this month.
Sounds like a one-way ride to fun. Sorry, that's terrible.
And the last book. Remember when I said you guys would see Paris again? Well, here it is. It's Paris for One and Other Stories by Jojo Moyes. This is basically a collection of short stories written by Jojo Moyes, and I have no idea about any of those short stories except for one, which is the main short story in it. It's about a girl named Nell, and she's never been to Paris, and she was supposed to go with her boyfriend, and he doesn't show up, and she ends up going anyway. So, and that's the end of my part of this haul.
Alexa got an email about, hey, these are Disney Hyperions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, one of those, and lucky enough to get one of those Disney Hyperion emails where she's like, so there's a bunch of middle grade here, do you want any of these? And I'm like, just get me all of them, and she did. And so
well, they were kind enough to generously send it to us.
Both. And so the first one is The Girl Who Knew Even More, the Muncham Academy. I think
that's actually
this is the second book.
Yeah.
Because Muncham Academy book 1, The Boy Who Knew Too Much.
To the library.
Will do. So I'm definitely taking another trip to the library to grab book 1 of this. So super generous that we were able to get a finished copy.
I know, I wasn't expecting
And
that.
Also another finished copy is Suspect Red. When the entire nation is scared, who do you believe? Very timely, I think, maybe, as far as books are concerned,
wow.
given, you know, all of the news, fake or otherwise, happening around there, right? So happy to have these. So thank you, Lex, for...
Oh, are you going to now show off? Oh,
as things progress. Look, Alex also got another book called The 16th Academy.
I think we're both reading
We're
this
totally
one,
both reading this one. It's just a matter of who gets to...
Sounds a little bit like X-Men, but not really.
Yeah, Davy Prince is a lot like other scenarios, plays video games, blah, 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 makes it a shadowy organization.
Oh, it's more like... Sorry, I take that back. It's more like a spy thrillery book.
Right, so this book is kind of more of a spy thrillery book. And
that's the vibe I get.
So yeah, me as well. Mystery, why am I going to this boarding school far away from everybody?
I mean, boarding schools are always fun. Ooh. Unless they're evil.
And I believe this is book 2 of the Levi Black series about vampires. First one was Red Right Hand. This now is Black Coat Blues.
Right.
I have totally failed my Halloween book reading challenge.
You made yourself a Halloween book reading challenge.
Well, I wanted to read the scary books by Halloween. I failed.
I'm failing at our fall TBR and summer one, so you know.
But I'm so glad that I have book 2 of the Mythos Wars because we had a chance to see Levi Black. He was awesome. Now it's back to good old-fashioned vampires where they're a real threat. They're like, it's almost kind of like the Strand.
Basically bloodthirsty.
Yeah, which is awesome and not necessarily.
Get it? Bloodthirsty.
It's actually literally what they are.
I know. I'm so clever.
That's right. And then
are you gonna show them the thing that I nearly dropped on my toe, which would have been terrible?
Which would have been terrible. Got a copy of Oathbringer, Brandon Sanderson.
Do you see how gigantic this book is?
This book is huge.
It's like 1,000+ pages.
So again,
you're gonna have to read book 1 and 2.
Tor was generous enough to send this over our way. It's book 3, so I'm gonna have to read books 1 and 2,
which are probably
just so I have to understand what's going on here. It's
ooh, look how pretty that is.
It's swaggy and it's got lovely covers.
Look at that little end-page thing.
Because from my, and I haven't finished the Mistborn trilogy just yet, but from what I've read of Mistborn, I think I must have finished the first book, maybe half of the second. Brandon Sanderson creates these surreal worlds that are really, really awesome. So I'm just racking up the Brandon Sanderson books. Okay, we're gonna end this
with 2 very special
very special books that are close to our hearts.
That one.
Yeah, because we are absolutely gearing up for our Tamara Pierce
the video finally
mini series, mini documentary.
By the time you see it, I'm not sure by the time you see this if there's going to be one video up, but anyway, I'll link to whatever is up.
Yeah, and we got ourselves a copy to match.
Yeah, the copy I'm currently reading.
Alexa's currently reading. The Circle of Magic book. So I got this off of eBay. Excuse me. I got this off of eBay, where they have this whole books 1 and 2, and then books 3 and 4 all in one volume.
I had found books 3 and 4 in a used bookshop, charity bookshop, and it was.
And we just needed to have the 2 together.
We had another chance to see the amazing Tamara Pierce in person. She did a launch event for for this book that we're about to show you, and the book in question is Turtle, a Spy's Guide. What's amazing is that Julie Holderman, Timothy Levy, and Megan Messenger were there as well. And they helped put this book together. She had 3 other people work with her on this book, and they all worked together to come up with this collection of different things, really. Facts about different spy tools and character letters and all of that good stuff. And Tammy basically implicitly trusted every single one of these people to help her bring the world of Turtle to life. So we are both really looking forward to reading this. It's gonna be so much fun. Cannot wait. And I'm also really enjoying my Circle of Magic reread. It's really, really enjoyable. Anyway, so that was pretty much our entire haul for the month of October. Haul. Definitely more tame compared to the September. Yeah. Oh my god, September was ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, that is it for now. Again, if you are interested in any of these books, definitely let us know in the comments. If you read any of them and are excited or didn't like them, whatever you want to say, leave it in the comments. As for Tamara Pierce, we already have the official announcement video up, so I will link to that and any other videos that are already up by the time this one goes up. We let you know. Also, if I'm still hiccuping, I will send help. I will ask for help in the comments. Yeah. Send help. What else? Again, you can also get candles from Canterbury Road Co., which is the shop that I am the candle rep for. This month, her special candles are all writing candles. So if you're doing NaNoWriMo, you might want to snag one of those. NaNoWriMo. You can use my code Alexa17 for a discount. Speaking of NaNoWriMo, anybody else want to already set themselves on fire? Speaking of candles, fire, and NaNoWriMo. I have this is the first time I did not plan out what I was doing. I'm unofficially doing it. So that's where that's at. Anyway, if you guys want to chat with us, we're always in the comments, or we try to be. He's better than I am at that. I'm trying to be better at it. And we will see you guys with another video soon. Bye!